What's up, guys? We're back with another video, and there's a lot of crazy things that are happening. I mean, I never thought really they would touch this in canon especially, but it happened, I guess. A Jedi Force Ghost actually talked to a Sith, and it just wasn't any Force Ghost. I mean, it was kind of the ultimate Force Ghost in Yoda, who appeared to none other than Palpatine too at the height of his power. So we're gonna discuss everything today. After my 3-week hiatus, I'm kind of glad I'm back. I mean, I missed you guys so much. I missed work too much. YouTube is just kind of become my own world where I can ramble as much as I want. You guys can criticize me in the comments, but I'm gonna do it anyway because that's kind of the guy I am, I guess. And man, boy, do we have a lot to ramble about today, because it's all true. A collection of Star Wars stories were just released. It's called Stories of Jedi and Sith, and one particular story did catch my attention. This recent canon publication, Stories of Jedi and Sith, has a very short story in there called Masters, and is written by Tessa Gratton. This is kind of the first contribution to Star Wars, and it is a major one. So kudos to her for kind of changing canon forever in a way with this short story. Yeah, so enough rambling. Let's get started with the story. This short story is set just prior to the Battle of Endor that we see in Return of the Jedi. Emperor Palpatine is aboard the second Death Star inside his throne room, and he is awaiting what he believes will be the Empire's final victory over the Rebel Alliance, and then it will be all over. This is, in a way, not only the rebellion being crushed, but he also kind of suspects that he will have a new apprentice in Luke Skywalker after he ultimately kills his father and joins Palpatine in anger. As he's thinking all of this, though, he finds himself thinking more and more about Master Yoda at that moment. He was thinking about their duel 2 decades earlier inside the Senate chambers. It is further confirmed that Palpatine, yes, did look for Master Yoda after Order 66 extensively. We also saw this in the Darth Vader comic series, where the Grand Inquisitor and Vader see a list of Jedi survivors that are priority to be found, and there was the name of Master Yoda. So we know that Palpatine had sent numerous Inquisitors to search for him, but they were never able to find him on Dagobah. As he is thinking about this, the Emperor knows that this is of no concern anymore. He knows that he has already defeated the old Jedi Master to a point where Yoda is a non-threat after 20 years of being vanished. Again, this is his overconfidence creeping in, because throughout all this time, Palpatine didn't think of Yoda as a threat, but in fact it was Yoda who instructed and sent Luke Skywalker to put the kibosh on his entire operation. And there's more. Palpatine doesn't view Yoda as a threat after 20 years, but he did wishes he had killed him. Just knowing the fact that he doesn't exist would have brought joy to Palpatine. How does Palpatine know that Yoda is still alive? Well, it is finally revealed that Sidious did sense Yoda's presence throughout all this time, after Order 66 and through perpetuity during the Imperial times as an emperor. In the original trilogy as well, Sidious was aware that Yoda is alive somewhere. He could sense it in the Force, and this brings him joy because Palpatine wants Yoda to feel the final defeat of the Republic when the rebellion is crushed around the moon of Endor. This is when the story cuts to Yoda, who is on Dagobah. He is not thinking about Palpatine at all. He is instead thinking about Luke Skywalker, who arrives at that moment. This is the time when Luke and Yoda meet for the final time in the flesh in Return of the Jedi. Why I say in the flesh? Because they meet again, as we see in The Last Jedi, and it is made clear that although Palpatine is fueled by revenge and hate, Yoda is at peace completely. After Yoda reveals himself to Luke, he then becomes one with the Force, actually dies, and becomes a Force ghost. This story actually told us that in canon, Palpatine did sense the death of Yoda through the Force, and once he sensed his death, a great feeling overcame him. It is quoted here saying, "It is as if Yoda has not existed at all to the Emperor, and suddenly he is all around, everywhere in the Force." Of course, Palpatine lets out a signature laugh, knowing that he had gotten the ultimate victory, when suddenly Yoda stands before him in the throne room as a Force ghost. Not being frightened, Palpatine taunts him by saying that Yoda will now witness his final victory. The Empire will prevail. However, Yoda answers with one simple phrase: win, you cannot. And then he disappears into the ether. Yeah, typical Yoda not letting Palpatine have the final say. It is pretty great to see more further interaction between Palpatine and Yoda. As always, this has become a cliche, of course, but as always, we say that the prequel set up so many relationships and so many quandaries and you know, ups and downs between characters that we kind of got too little from the prequels. They should have been so much more than just 3 movies, and I'm so glad that the Clone Wars series exists. But the dynamic between Palpatine and Yoda is a beautifully complicated one that we also see here in this short story, and I'm glad that they finally put this to rest, because in the original trilogy that was a definite issue. That why is nobody talking about Yoda? Palpatine doesn't even mention Yoda. Vader doesn't mention Yoda. We get some mentions about Kenobi by Vader, but that's about it. In his limited time in Return of the Jedi, Palpatine is not really interested in other Jedi at all, other than Luke. Now we see kind of why, because before Palpatine met Luke in the throne room in Return of the Jedi, he had come to the Yoda conclusion already. Just before that scene, Sidious had talked to the Force Ghost of Yoda inside that throne room, and Yoda had gotten the last word in, the last laugh, whichever phrasing you want, but all in all, I was very glad to see this. It kind of adds to the canon more and more, and I'm a big proponent and fan of it. Thank you guys so much. So let me know all of your thoughts down below, guys. What did you think about Yoda's Force Ghost talking to Palpatine, a Sith Lord, mind you? Now you have an awesome day, Star Wars fans. I'll see you in the next video, and may the Force be with you. Until then.